All right, let's continue then looking at these, how to connect these letters. I need some more lines. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Walhamdulillah. Wa la ilaha illallah. Wallahu akbar. Subhanallah. Walhamdulillah. Wa la ilaha illallah. Wallahu akbar. Okay. So we see here, we got up to the letter Ain, and therefore Ghain, Ain and Ghain. So then that means we are now at letter Fa. Now, you know how Fa looks in neutral position. That's okay. Yani, you know, Fa has a neck. Fa has a neck, which is this here, this amount of the letter here. And you know that the Fa, it curves before it hits the line, just like the Ba. There. So it's like a Ba or a Ta or a Tha, except that it has this head here. And of course, Fa has a dot, as you know. Okay. So when you connect it to what's after it, then you're going to keep all of that. You're going to keep its head. You're going to keep its neck. You're going to curve like a bat, but then you're going to connect to the letter after it. And when you connect it in the middle, it's going to lose its neck. So in the middle, here it is connecting from the letter before it. Then here's its head, and here it is connecting to the letter after it. The neck is gone. And when it is at the end of the word, also the neck is gone if it's connected. So if it's connecting from the last letter, then the neck is gone, and then you finish the letter off. Fat. So how does that look? Let's see here the word, for example, fahm. Fa, ha, mim. So there's our fa connecting to the letter after it, which is a ha. Fahm, understanding, comprehension. Okay. And what about in the middle here? Like, for example, here's a word you know. First letter, let's say, is calf. Second letter is fat. So you see it connecting from the letter before it. And then the letter after it is ra. What's that word? You know that one? Kufr. Blasphemy. Well, kufr means covering something.
The back
That's
seat.
that's what it means in the language. A kafir is someone who covers something, like a farmer. He covers the seeds in the dirt. That's linguistic take. So the kafir in religion is the one who covers the truth in religion. Yani, he's the blasphemer, disbeliever. Or it can mean ungrateful also. The word kufr can mean ungrateful, and ungrateful doesn't mean blasphemy necessarily. Okay. And here we see this fa at the end of the word. If it's connected to the word before it, like what? Ah, here's a word you know. How about this word? Khuf. See the fa connecting to the letter before it. You know the khuf, that's the footgear. According to the Shafi'is, the khuf is not a sock. A sock is not a khuf. You don't call a sock a khuf, according to them. You can't wipe on a sock in the Shafi'i school because it's not a khuf. They say you can wipe on your khufs. Okay. Now, if it's not connected to the letter before it, because maybe the letter before it does not connect to the letter after it, then it's going to just take its original shape, having its neck. For example, take this word. Let's take the word here, hadaf. So you can see those letters are a little bit wobbly. That's me trying to keep my hand under control. Still came out okay though. That's why I suggest for you, if you are now practicing and writing along, I suggest that you use a pencil, not a pen. Although some pens are okay, but I am suggesting for you to use a pencil because pencil gives you better grip. You want to have good hand control, meaning that the pencil, the point of the pencil against the paper has more resistance. So it gives you better grip, more control than a pen and ink pens. Smoother. Like you know now, I am writing on a piece of glass with a piece of plastic. So smooth. Okay. There's fat. Next letter is cough. How's cough in its original form? So it starts off like fat, but goes under the line like a noon, and it has two dots. And like fat, in the beginning, it's going to keep its neck. And in the middle, it's going to lose its neck. And in the end, it will not retain its neck unless it's not actually connected to the letter before it. But if it's connected to the letter before it, then it's not going to get its neck back because its head is not going to be elevated over the line. Yani, you know, when you start the cough off in its original form here, its head is elevated over the line. But if the cough at the end of the yani, when it's only connected to the letter before it, then it's going to be connecting from the line. And that line that it's connecting from is writing the line on the paper. So the head of the cough's not going to be over the line. Unless you are doing something like, unless you're dealing with some way of, flipping the letters, like we talked about. You can stack the letters sometimes, do some special things with some of those letters because of their shapes. You saw how we did with the scene, the third tooth of the scene, and all of that, and that tooth on your sword. So unless you're doing something like that, then the cough, its head is going to be at the end on the line, like you see here. Like what? Let's take some examples here. In the beginning of the word, let's take the word Is there a religious word? Let's take the word qalb. I was about to say qalam, but qalb I like even better because it has more religious significance. Qalb, the heart, the qalb. So you see that qaf connecting to what's after it. There are obligations of the heart and there are sins of the heart. The Muslim is in tune with his heart. You know, you think by your heart. That's what we got from the Quran. Allah guided us to know where our minds are. The mind is in the heart, not in the head. According to the strong saying, what about in the middle? Is there a nice word with a cough in the middle? How about, here's a word for you. Laqab. Laqab. A laqab is a nickname. Laqab is a nickname, like Zainul Abidin, the decor of the believers. That could be someone's nickname. Or what was Khalid ibn al-Walid's nickname, his laqab, was Sayfullah, the sword of God. Laqab can be good or bad, for praise or dispraise. Someone's laqab could be Anfunaqa, camel nose. Or someone's laqab could be Batta, duck. So, you know how those things go, probably. Maybe you know someone from around your way with a funny nickname, like Moosey or some other ones. Now we have cough at the end of the word. Let me just rewrite it on the next line here so this stuff's not too smashed together. So, you know, this word, and that's a nice one because it has a fat too. Yep. So, but our concentration right now is on letter cough. So you see how it's connecting from the letter before it. Al-Falaq, which is the dawn. You know, Surah Al-Falaq. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. The falaq is the subh, the dawn. Okay. Or I could give you another word like khalq, creation. Okay. That's cough. How about calf? If you have any question, feel free, please. Let's see how calf looks by itself again. Here's calf, pretty easy, like that. Actually, let's take a look in Mus'haf and identify some of these letters real quick before we go too far. We did fa and we did cough here. All right. So, right here. Here's a cough in the middle. وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها. Yeah, and it's dots too. Here's a cough in the beginning. You see its neck there. Do we find a cough in the end without going all the way to Surah Al-Falaq? Yani, before that, there's another cough in the middle, which you know, Yani, it's fine. Here's a fat in the beginning, has its neck, as you can see. And Yani, fat in the beginning, that one's easy to find. We have plenty of those. Because fat is one of the conjunctions in Arabic. Fat. It's the second conjunction after wow. Okay. Here you have cough in the beginning. See its neck there. So what about fat at the end and cough at the end? Do I have something here? Bismillah. Here's a fat at the end that's not connected to what's in front of it and therefore has its neck. And anything else here? Bismillah. Here's a cough connecting from the letter before it and does not have its neck. Yani, because here's the line. Here's a fat connected to a ya. So this word lefi could have written yani, it could be written like this. Lam, fat, ride the line, and then bring the ya like this. Lefi. But that's not how it's written here. Rather, it went right into the ya, lam, fat, then brought the ya immediately like that. Both of those are legible and both of those are fine. Still looking for a fat at the end of a word. Here's a fat that's stacked. Fat stacked on top of the gene. فَجَعَلَهُمْ. Here's a fat at the end of the word. Lost its neck. Okay. So if you have any question, feel free. Now we're on letter calf. Here's the calf by itself. Now, when it connects, it changes drastically. So the calf, let me just go on the next line here. The calf in the beginning of the word You have two ways. Let's do one way first. I'm going to call this the standard one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the Mus'haf as if I'm writing a dal, then connects to the letter after. I picked my pen up. Now I'm coming all the way from over here. Calf. We're going to take a look at the Mus'haf to see how to write a nice one. I'll remind you of Sheikh Abdullah's advice when some asked him, how can I get good handwriting? He said, imitate the Mus'haf. And some people, when they really tried and they stuck to it, their handwriting did improve. If you do like I'm showing you now, inshallah, your handwriting will improve a lot because I'm pointing things out to you. What might happen to a person who's imitating the Mus'haf is that he's writing what's right there, he's tracing, for example, somehow, but still doesn't know what's there. What is that subtlety there? Is that something or is nothing or what? So that's why I'm pointing out things to you like there's a little tooth here and there's a curve here like this. This much goes over the line and then the rest is under the line and like that. And this one has a neck, but then we'll lose its neck. These caps that I just wrote in the beginning of a word, for me, that's pretty sloppy. So if I'll just write it the way I usually write something, I would, that's how my hand would go. It would look more like that. So we're going to take a look and see. Looks like I need to review letter calf. That's in the beginning of the word. But there's another way in the beginning of the word. I'm going to call this the fancy way. Fancy way is more like this. So I'm starting here. Look at that curve there. Then have here this. Then before I get to the line, a curve, and then connect to the letter after it. So there's a little something here that's just erase that little there. Like that. Something like that. We'll take a look in Mus'haf too. So I need to review letter kaf with you. So that's the beginning of the word. And in the middle of the word, it's like that. It's just connecting from the letter before it. So if you want to do the standard one, you're going to have the letter coming, the line coming from the letter before it, but go up. There, you got a ramp there. And then I picked my pen up. I'm going to go back, put my pen back down and trace back over that line to connect my calf to the letter afterwards. Now I picked my pen up. Then I'm coming all the way from over here so I can connect those. That's approximately calf in the middle of the word. And we're going to look in the Mus'haf together, inshallah, see how sloppy my calf is. And as for the fancy one, same thing. Yani, here's the line from the letter before. Now I picked my pen up, and I'm coming all the way from over here because this letter is long, so I have to give myself some space. For me, it's sloppy. It's not horrible, though. And then, at the end of the word, the calf takes its own shape, connecting from the letter before it. I picked my pen up right here. Now I'm bringing it back down. So notice the space that I left here. Let's take a look at some words real quick before we look in the Mus'haf. So, kaf, for example, Surat Al-Kahf. Kahf, cave. So, you see the kaf here connecting from the letter before it, and yani, I meant to do that with two colors, but it's okay. Connecting to the letter after it. That's in the middle. What about in the beginning? Just in the beginning. So if we take off al, then we're going to write it as kaf, then kaf, cave. Or here's another word for you. Let me use the other kaf, the fancy one that I call the fancy one. Kaf. It's another way to write the hat. So I gave it to you early. Yani, this one is a hat and this one is a hat. Both of those in the middle. So when we get to hat, I'm going to repeat this. Letter hat, its shapes in the middle, has more than one shape for the middle. So when you write and you want to write nicely, switch them up sometimes. Yani, write that hat sometimes, write this hat sometimes, write standard cap sometimes, write fancy cap sometimes, like this. You'll have nice handwriting. Inshallah. And at the end of the word, calf would look like, for example, here's a word for you. Uh, what's a religious word that ends with a calf? Uh, someone rose their hand. Who has hand raised here?
Surah Book
Huh?
has a calf. I said Surah Book that has a
Mulk.
calf.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So, for example, Surat Al Mulk. There's calf. Al Mulk. Dominion. Or you can change the harakat here. If we want, instead of saying mulk, keep the same letters. If we change the harakat and say malak, malak, al malak, that means angel. That's singular. Angel, al malak. Or if we change the vowel, the second vowel here, and we say al malik means king. King. Okay. Let's see Mus'haf, inshallah. Give it a chance to upload again. Has to re-upload each time because it's such a big file. Okay, we have several right here in Surah Al-Fil, where we are. Here's a calf. So look here. So first of all, then, this part is taller than what I displayed for you on the line. Yani, if we do some comparison, looks like this part is as tall as the top of a fat here. Okay. So now I can see how the strokes went for the one who wrote this. Looks like he started here. Then his pen, yani he curved right here. Then, yani he probably kept going here. And then came back all the way over here and filled that line in. But if you want good handwriting, you have to pick your pen up. You need to know where and how. Here's a calf at the end, connecting from the letter before it. And look here at this ending tooth right here. Came up pretty high. Look, that's just as high as the bat right there. Here. Where's the Oh, we don't have a ruler here. All right. But still, it's like just as high as so that helps me out a lot. And this is part of the calf. That's a Hamza. I asked to be sure. That's not a calf? Sheikh Saif, I asked. That's not a calf inside the calf? He said, no, it's not a calf. It's a Hamza. Okay. I did learn that was a Hamza before. But then just crossed my mind at some time. Is that Hamza there? That's calf. Because I used to write it like, when I knew that's a Hamza, I used to write calf like, here's my calf. And then I used to write the Hamza like this, like regular standard Hamza. But then when I looked close, I noticed that I never saw it written like that. The Hamza written in there, the calf like that. Rather, always saw the Hamza in there written like this. So then I started wondering, is that supposed to be a little small calf there inside the calf? But Sheikh Saif said, no, it's a Hamza. Here's another calf. Look how tall this is here. Right? You can see it's just as tall as the dab. And you're going to pick your pen up and then come back and look how long this is. So you're going to have to give yourself space to write this long line over here. And we have another one taking this opportunity to practice with you. See how tall it is here. So that's not insignificant. And we have a fancy one here, what I call a fancy one. So how are you going to do that? Look here. So that line is much shorter, that top line. If you compare, yeah, this top line to this top line, so you can see that one's much shorter. But on the other hand, this part of the line is much longer. All that is the calf. So as you can see, yani, this part of the calf is longer than in this one. So it's like it's reversed. Okay. All right. Think that's good. Calf. What's after calf? Lamb. Here's lamb by itself. That's not a bad one. Lamb is pretty much the combination of an alif and a noon. Here's my alif, and then here's my noon. It's like a hook. Take a look in the Mus'haf. And some of these tall letters you'll notice in the Mus'haf has little, I don't know what you call this little thing that they have on top of them there. Sometimes I write that in there. It's a little fancy thing there. Lamb's so easy. So in the beginning of the word, it just connects to what's after it. In the middle of the word, it's connecting to what's before it and to what's after it. Now, what I just did for this middle one, I picked my pen up. Here, I went like this. Oh, that's floppy one there. Right here, I picked my pen up. Then I came all the way back down to the bottom to connect to what's after. If I try to trace that all the way back down, a lot of times comes out sloppy. Maybe I'll do a good one here. See? So it got thicker because I was tracing back down. That's why I picked my pen up. Okay, that one's not bad. But I do prefer to pick my pen up so I can, yeah, guarantee a better line. And then at the end of the word, it just takes its own shape, connects from what's before it, and takes its own shape. But lamb has some versatile connections. For example, what if your lamb is connected to an alif? That's what people call lamb alif. Then you have two shapes. You can do it this way, the easy way, lamb alif, or you can do it this way. They're both easy. So easy way is one, picked my pen up, two. Other way, the way to me looks nicer is I'm going down, I'm going to cross over that line here and then connect. So let's look at some examples real quick. I just need more lines. Subhanallah. Walhamdulillah. Wa la ilaha illallah. Wallahu akbar. Subhanallah. Walhamdulillah. Wa la ilaha illallah. Wallahu akbar. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Okay. So lamb in the beginning. For example, what starts with a lamb? Do you have a religious word there? Hmm. How about the name of prophet? Lut. Lut. Okay, so easy. And in the middle, we saw Al Falaq. It's up here. Here, Al Falaq. See that lamb there? So the lamb is in white, connecting to what's before it and what's after it. And there's even another lamb right there. Or here, this word Al Khalq. Here's lamb in the middle. Have another one right here. Qalb. It's lamb in the middle. I traced the line back down that time. And what about lamb at the end? Such as, you know about that prophet whose name is.
Ishmael.
Well, I was going to say Dhul Kifl. Now, maybe I made this calf too tall, though. Look how Look how far over, how much taller than the fat my calf is here. Still nice handwriting though, but definitely needs to be not too short. And here's the lamb. Dhul Kifl. What about this lamb alif here? Take a look at the word. Oh, here. Take a look at the word salam. And this lamb alif, what are all the ways you can write it to? There might be some other things I didn't mention to you. I need to review it myself. Or uh, take this word for example. Yani la, the word la, lam alif, or la, lam alif. Here's a word, lazim, lazim, binding. Or I could write it this way, lazim. Okay, let's take a quick look in Mus'haf, inshallah. Oh man, shut it down for me. Let's see what we find with lamb here. Lamb all over the place. Here's alam. Here's lamb. And it has that little thing I was telling you about right there. Maybe my calf wasn't too tall because look here, this calf is taller than this fat that's connected, but it's not taller than this fat at the beginning of the word. It has its neck. Its neck is making it taller. Here's a lamb at the end of the word. Here's a lamb in the middle. Sloppy. And as you can see, a lamb at the end. I think he is tracing back down the line though. Here's another lamb at the end. Let's see here. Look how high that lamb comes back up here. Here, um, so looks like this is over the line, comes back over the line. See? When you bring it back over the line, goes under the line, comes back up over. So all these ayat end with lamb. Here you have lamb by itself because it doesn't connect to the letter before it. Right here is where you can see the the pen of the scribe curving. And his pen has a special tip, by the way, so he doesn't have just pointy point like I have just a mere pointy point, and you probably just have a mere pointy point. His pen has special tip, so that leaves an effect when he makes curves and turns. Makes the line get thicker and thinner. And as you can see, it has this tip there. Right there looks like it's completely over the line. Do we have a lamb alif around here though somewhere? Yeah, here's one right here. Here, come down. I picked my pen up, brought it back here, went right here, and then came back there. And this has a little bit of some fancy stuff here. What about the other lamb alif? Mm. Here, it's connected. And look how high that goes up here. So the line is like there. So that dips under the line a little bit. I think the one I drew is too short here. This part here, the one I drew is too short. Yani, this one is like all the way here. It's like as high as the top of the sod. Is there maybe one more? Well, there's this one, but I'm looking for the other one. We see this one repeated over and over and over again here. We've got a fancy calf here. Here's that lam alif, but it's connected. And that's a different handwriting style too. Inside this title here, all this, that's a different handwriting style from what's actually in the surah. Has a different name. All right, so just from scanning here a little bit, I'm not seeing another one of those lam alifs. But see, this is what I was talking about right here. Mine is short right there. So it looks like it should be more like that might be too tall though. So if I wrote the word salah, for example, let's see. What I'm trying to do now is make this opening as tall as the top of the sod or the other letter. So that's better one there. Okay, we still need to cover meme. Noon, we covered noon. Ha, wow, we covered wow. And yeah, we covered yeah. But we'll probably just review those anyway. We'll stop here for today. Do you have any question? Excuse
Alaikum.
me. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, do you have any of those pamphlets where the writing, you could trace?
The handwriting ones
Yeah.
have something. I do have something. It's not even the one I really want, but I have something. I need to find it.
Is it in a different?
Um, no, it's one of those. It's one
Okay.
of those ones you're asking me about. Subhanallah.
Okay.
Surprised I can't find it online. I didn't find anything online that satisfies me in terms of what I want to do. It's like
Okay.
that one. MashaAllah.
If you get it or come across it, inshallah, can you send it to us?
Yes, inshallah ta'ala. Or if Allah guides me to scan that other one, make a PDF out of it, inshallah.
Inshallah. Barakallahu feek.
Ameen wa fikum. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Oh, wait, we got some questions here. Let me see. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. The meme looks like a wow. What meme looks like a wow?
It was in the beginning. Sheikh is where you wrote with the fahm.
Fahm.
The you see it?
Yeah. Here, this, you said this meme looks like a wow. Kind of, sort of, but Yani, you can write meme this one. Let me just. You can write meme in some different ways. What I did right here is like this. Here.
Oh, good calligraphy. Mm. MashaAllah.
As opposed to, let's say if I wrote the word fahua, then you can see the difference.
With the hook.
Yeah. Fahua. Fahmun. So you can see here the difference between this meme and this wow. That I call that the short meme. There's a longer
Okay.
meme too. Inshallah, we'll see it next time if Allah enables us.
Barakallah feet.
Ameen wa feekum.